Hey there, it's Michael. Welcome to Whole Again, the show that's here in support of you creating a meaningful life and the person you're becoming. And I'm excited to share a new series with you that will air this summer as America turns 250 years old, which is still pretty young relative to many other countries across this big blue marble that we all share. The series is called A Perfectly Imperfect Union. In 2022, I rode my bike across America, from Astoria, Oregon to the Lincoln Memorial. My wife drove our RV, and she had two co-pilots, Jester and Hope, two Springer Spaniels. And when we did it, America was coming out of the pandemic, and we were hurting from things that had happened prior to the pandemic. Of course, going through what we all went through. And at that time, and this is something I still believe today, is that we were entering an inflection point. An inflection point for us to hopefully pause, breathe, and reflect on who we wish to become as individuals, as communities, and as a country. As I pedaled across America, I wanted to share America's beauty with others, her natural beauty and the beauty of her people. And I also wanted to share where we were hurting. As America turns 250, I believe Kinstugi, which is something we use as a metaphor here at Whole Again, is a perfect metaphor for where we are as a country. There's so much beauty to celebrate, and we can also acknowledge that parts of us feel broken or are broken, but we can find a way to come back together, just like Kinstugi teaches us. And when we do, we don't try to erase or cover up where we have scars or blemishes. We highlight them in gold, and we celebrate them as symbols of our strength and resilience. Kinstugi is called the golden repair, and in essence, we can see beauty in something that's perfectly imperfect. During this series, I plan to speak to at least two people in each state and the District of Columbia. So 102 conversations with real folk, as I like to say. We're going to let the celebrities and the big influencers have their day somewhere else. But here, I want to reach out and talk to real people and listen to their reflections as they think about America turning 250 years old. And my hope is that you'll tune in to at least one, if not all 102. Because my theory going into this is that you'll hear different perspectives. Some may be aligned with yours. Others may not. But my hope is that you hear the goodness in your fellow citizens and realize, as Maya Angelou shared with us, we are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike. We are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike. I've had the privilege of traveling all over the world and all over this country. And this belief is something that I hold deep inside of me. So yes, I do believe that we are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike. So if you're ready to get to know one of your perfectly imperfect neighbors, just like all of us, take a healthy breath in and a slow, releasing breath out, and get to know Robena. Well, hello, Robena. So good for you to join me on this series I'm calling A Perfectly Imperfect Union. How are you
Mm,
feeling today?
mm, mm. Well, personally, I'm feeling amazing. That's a personal choice.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm so honored to share space with you on this. As I mentioned before we hit record, we have one of your great works of art hanging in our living room. Just a reminder of our great trips to Maui. So we I sort of know you. Obviously, my wife and my oldest have met you in person. But for those that don't know you, can you take a moment to introduce yourself and what state are you currently in?
Yes, my name's Robena, and I'm a fine artist. I live on Maui in the state of Hawaii, and it's beautiful. We love living here. The state is a very amazing place. It's quite a melting pot. We're very isolated out in the Middle Pacific, so you know we know what a melting pot really feels like. Where everybody
Yeah,
has to, take care of each other.
absolutely. So we live in a big country, and I know not everyone has had really the privilege or the pleasure of getting to Hawaii. So I know many people think of it as like, wow, look, go to Hawaii. It's like, the sort of tropical and beautiful and rainbows and all that. But for those that haven't been, beyond what is out there in the public domain, what's something special about Hawaii that someone may not know about if they haven't visited?
Well, it's not Disney. It's I think a lot of people come here feeling like, Disneyland, but it's incredibly beautiful. The people, the culture here, it's a long, deep history that's to be admired, and you feel very humble in the face of it. I feel like being on this island, being humble is like the currency.
Yeah.
Aloha is the currency.
Yes.
It's very important because how you treat each other, because it's
Mm.
a very small island in the middle of the state. You know,
Yeah, the
um,
ripple effect, and not to play off a water analogy, but since you guys are all there, it's a small space. There is a ripple effect based on how one shows up. It makes a difference to everyone around them, even the people that they may not know or see right in their own space.
yes, yeah,
Yeah,
and being an island, we don't have ferry service here. We have small ferry service to say Molokai or Lanai, but everyone here works here, helps each other here, and you can't. If you need some other specialty, you can't call people from Oahu and have them drive over. They have to fly
yeah,
over.
yes,
So you've got to learn how to live within what the our island has.
yeah.
People and commodities. So
And some patience, I imagine, with all that. So
lots of
yeah,
patience. It's
yes,
it's interesting. We've been here for about 35 years, and on the mainland, I remember being on the mainland and I remember a different mentality, but here everything has to be takes time, just to get electrical specialist or a plumber or this or
sure,
that. I mean, there's
yeah.
only so many, and they're all rock stars, and everybody needs them. So you just have to be patient,
Got to be
and
patient. Yeah.
it's just a very kickback, laid back way of life. You know,
Very, very cool.
yeah,
Very cool.
yeah.
So let's say you're gathered around your community members there, your friends, as we celebrate America turning 250. As we sit here today, that will be officially, I guess, in 2 days on Saturday. But maybe someone asks you, "Hey, Rabino, what does America mean to you?" How do you respond to that question?
Wow, it to me, America is an aspirational line of thinking. I
Mm.
feel like most people that are born and raised here or come here really feel like there's nothing you can't accomplish, nothing you can't do. It's a messy, complicated country, but there's the freedom of thought, and I think people come here just to have that feeling, you know?
Yeah,
Um,
a chance at something,
a chance at something,
a
just
chance
your
at a better
own,
life. Yeah,
yeah, your own motivational ability, whatever you feel like you can do, you probably can. I mean, there's always roadblocks for everything, and there's always rights that some people have and some people don't have. I mean, it's complicated, but I feel like America itself, the word, is an aspirational line of thinking.
yeah. No, I hear you on that. You
Hmm.
mentioned messy, and certainly the stories all families have about either being here in America before it was America or
Hmm.
coming here. We all have a different family story as it relates to the country or this land. Do you know much about your family's story of
I
America?
I do. It's very old. A lot of my people landed in Virginia in the
Okay.
1600s,
Wow.
and they traveled through North Carolina, through the Cumberland Gap to Tennessee, through to Texas. I grew up in Texas. A lot of my other people, like German background, came to Texas during in the 1850s during that kind of land grant situation. So, my people came in covered wagons and ended up in Texas. And I feel like being in Hawaii is just my own pioneering attitude, and you just keep going west. I mean,
Yeah,
I suppose
absolutely.
I suppose
Yeah.
further west would be the archipelago, but this is
Yes. Yeah,
good.
this is good. It's a good place to land.
Yeah.
That's great. Wow. Going back to the 1600s. That's remarkable. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, lots of different people involved, different Indian tribes, different people from England and Scotland and Africa. We've got a whole mix of people, that
Abs
were trying to survive and
Yeah,
live in a crazy new adventurous situation, which was dangerous, and
sure.
I can only imagine, what they actually went through and what women went through and what,
Oh, gosh.
it just must have been crazy.
No, crazy, and, we sometimes have difficulty just wrapping our heads around, like, the current moment that we all share, but, like, if you really go back to think about what some of the early settlers went through without some of the major conveniences of modern day life, you're like,
Yeah.
What are we talking about?" So
Right?
it's really really nuts. So, as we sort of stay on this theme of this messiness, I use kintsugi as a metaphor for this series, actually for my Whole Again podcast, knowing that things that occasionally do break. We have
Mm.
divisiveness, we have cracks, we have fissures, and all that
Mm,
jazz, and
mm, mhm.
we can repair it much like kintsugi, and use these repairs as symbols of our resilience.
Yeah.
So if you look at the country and right now, is there one thing you would want to see if you could make some progress? It would may not be a perfect repair, but a meaningful first step that could help us perhaps heal or at least come together and connect in a way.
A couple of things. I feel like if people wore their empathy on their sleeve,
Mm,
that would be a huge step forward. It seems like perhaps we used to. I don't know. I'm not really sure where that stands because America hasn't always been fair to a lot of groups of people. So we'll leave
absolutely, yeah.
we'll leave that there. But also, you and I growing up had only three news stations where
Yes.
we kind of got unbiased, perhaps unbiased. We don't really know, but unbiased actual news. And I feel like if everyone had an unbiased, accurate news feed, and we perhaps wouldn't be running around living in fear and anxiety of the other person. And
Sure.
I feel like that's probably one of the things that I don't know if it's gonna go back because there's so many splinters of news and opinion and all this stuff to where it just a lot of people need to be angry and they are, and
Yes.
it's so trying to get them into another state of mind to where they're empathetic to the other, whatever that is, that would be what I would think would help a lot. But
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Other people that I've chatted with in this series have talked about just the desire to be more empathetic, and with that, uh, the need to slow down a bit. We seem to be rushing off to somewhere, and then as we're rushing, reacting to, as you mentioned, whatever happens to be on our news feed. So there's this constant state of rush and react and rush and react. And then
Yeah, and
we,
you and I oh, sorry. Go
yeah,
ahead.
and then we just have the fear grows, and it's like, well, you're not like me, or I don't think you're like me, so you must be the enemy. And then
Yeah.
we end up in this really wonky, muddy space.
Yeah, and it's sad because I feel like it wasn't that long ago we could come around something like when 9/11 happened. I mean, I think the whole country felt each other.
Oh
Where,
yeah, yeah.
I would hope if something, I don't want ever that to happen again, but if that something happened like that, would we? I would hope so.
I
So I keep
yeah.
having hope
Yeah.
um, for our most intelligent people in our country to take it back. Like to
Yes, yes.
be in control.
Yes, I share in your hope that we can find a way out of this, and that we would be able to come together if there was a major crisis.
Mm,
Locally, that there have been crisis. You guys had to deal with the Maui wildfires.
yeah.
I imagine as a community, you guys did rally together, but something,
Yeah.
from a national perspective of 9/11, really, I think we were kinder for a bit until then we started fighting about what to do next. I,
Yeah.
I want to believe that we can find a way to come together even when there isn't a crisis, and just
Yeah.
start doing it just
Just
yeah,
because.
just because it connects with our desire to be human to each other, and kind, and knowing that we are, at least connected, if we're not all one, right? And so
Yeah. I mean,
so
speaking of the
yeah,
fire, the aftermath of the fire here, I mean, this community came together like crazy. It was
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
And then conspiracy theories start coming in
Oh,
from outside of here, and it
mm,
just went haywire. So, yeah.
that's too bad.
Mm,
That's too bad. I know it's such such a tragic thing, and some of those outside voices, they may not even be like in this country. It could be
I
from
know.
outside, or just bots
Yeah.
making up stuff. I think
Just
that's,
sowing division.
yeah, I say just the complicated state of affairs that we all happen to live in.
Yeah.
So I want to round out our conversation with a couple different fun questions. So with a birthday, traditionally we have birthday cake. So this is a two-part question for you. So what kind of cake are you serving for America's birthday? And then as you blow out the candles of this birthday cake, if you choose cake. Many people have not chosen cake. They've picked something else. But if you're blowing out the candles, what are you wishing for? Maybe in addition to greater empathy.
I love. It sounds like such a just a word, but I think love really fixes a lot of that. Breathing deeply, taking time,
Mm,
um, especially the breathing deeply to get your heart full again and to
yes.
be
Yeah.
full of love to your neighbor and to everyone,
Mm.
um, and feel connected. So that's what I would want. And as far as a cake, I would say a cupcake.
A cupcake. All right, that works.
Tiny, not too much sugar.
Not too much sugar. Absolutely, absolutely not. So as part of this series, I've been asking the person before you if they have a question for the next person I chat with. So I spoke earlier today to Jessica. She's from Mississippi. And so she has, I think, a really thought provoking question. So her question that she wants to serve up to you is, if you could create a museum on anything, what would your museum be about?
Wow, you never
Yeah,
told me this question.
I know this is a little bit of a trick one. So I'm going to give you some time to sort of think about this. I didn't know this question was going to come up until a few hours ago, actually.
It's very fascinating. Well, I tell you right now, my favorite museums when I was raising my daughter were the science museums
Ah, cool.
all over the country. It's like I found them just as interesting as my daughter did at 5 years old. You know, they were
Mm,
fascinating, they were thought provoking, and they were fun.
yeah.
So I think I would just really being an artist, I'd probably get into color theory or how the eyeball works or,
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
perception. I really love seeing optical art where it's an artwork that it tricks your brain and your
Yeah.
brain like sees it differently. I think all
Yeah.
that's super fascinating.
Yeah, that is super fascinating because then you can get into the shifting of perspectives and viewpoints, and then you can pull that analogy through to life and how we see things. My wife and I were in Canada the last few days, and we went to this great exhibit about bees. And so there was a
Mm.
really cool um, more like an experience where you would put your elbow down on a stand and then put your finger in your ear, and you could hear the buzzing of the bees. They would it got transmitted through your elbow and through your finger, and I'm not exactly
Wow.
sure how they
Just a
did it, but
vibration.
just the vibration, it was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, wow, that is so, like, wicked cool." It was so awesome.
Yeah.
So, and we need to cherish and protect our bees. So,
Yeah, we have bees on the property and they make honey out of the kiavi flower, which is
oh, wow.
pretty awesome. We
Yeah,
love them.
that's so cool. So, I wanna give you a shot to ask really any question to the next
Hmm.
person I chat with, and it doesn't have to be about America or America 250. Obviously, Jessica's question was more about a museum of choice.
Hmm.
So is there any particular question you wanna ask the next person I chat with?
Um, are you are you breathing deeply?
Mm,
Does that
yeah.
sound like enough of a question?
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like whenever I'm most anxious or I feel like my nervous system's a little out of whack, it's like if I can catch that deep divine breath,
yes.
I can calm my nervous system down and my heart rate down, and turn maybe a situation into a joyous moment.
Mhm.
So it's like, do you have your own mechanism to breathe and get beyond a situation that you could imagine being better? Like when I think about how things are in the country now, it's like I really have to breathe deep and just keep imagining things better. Like,
Yeah,
how's your imagination? Maybe
yes.
your breathing, your imagination. Can
Yes.
you imagine this being like incredibly awesome? You know,
Yes, yes.
beyond what we see happening. So,
Absolutely. Well, as my hat says, this is a little my thing that came out of my recovery from my big accident is to, hit pause, press pause, breathe, and then reflect. So, with that deep breath, to your point, you slow everything down, and I believe you create a little bit of space.
yeah. I think we
Some
had that in the 80s, before our
Yeah,
phones and all this social media. We
yes.
had we had to sit there and wait.
We had
So,
to have moments of boredom where that's where creativity can bubble up and flourish. It
right?
wasn't we just didn't we just stood in line. Well, back in the 80s, we didn't have Starbucks to stand in line for, but like
Right.
coffee was a different type of
Just waiting on a
product.
phone call.
Yeah, yeah. We just we would we would we would just stand in line and not have to grab our phones and try to occupy every moment. We were okay with that. And
Yeah,
if we
there's a good bumper sticker here that says "Try wait." You know,
Oh,
it's like just try it, just try
yeah,
waiting.
just try it. I love it. I love it. I think
Yeah,
we could use a little bit more of that just to slow.
Better
like,
bumper stickers.
yes, better, but yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. We need some good like 1970s, early 80s bumper stickers. Just
I mean, that might be a good question. It's like, what bumper sticker would you make?
yeah, I might
Oh,
ask that one too. So we'll
yeah.
we'll pull
You can have that.
we'll
Okay.
we'll pull both of those questions. Are you breathing
Mhm.
deeply, and what kind of bumper sticker would you create if you could create any one? So,
Yeah.
well, Rabina, mahalo, I should
Oh,
say.
mahalo and a hui
So,
ho.
yeah, so I really appreciate you sitting down with me and sharing your thoughts and really helping us create a more perfectly imperfect union with your energy that you're putting and out into the world and as well as your art. So we have a connection
Mm.
here from Maui to New Jersey. I get to look
Yay.
at your
Well,
beautiful art.
bless you and
And
bless the work you're doing. Thank you for inviting me and thanks for supporting my art.
yeah,
Really
absolutely.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
hello to your beautiful family.
Thank you. I will definitely pass on your wishes and your energy to them as I head down to dinner here in a few. So,
Yay. Well,
there.
please come with them when you visit.
Yes, I am due. I'm due for a trip to Maui. As a big cyclist, that's one of my favorite places to ride my
Mhm.
bike. I love going out to West Maui and doing that loop and just
Oh, yeah, yeah,
why,
yeah.
feeling
Mhm.
my jaw drop in awe at
It's
Mother Earth, Mother
it's
Nature's
it's,
beauty.
on display. It's like it is jaw-dropping and
Yeah, it's
wonderful.
so
So,
gorgeous, so gorgeous. Well,
well,
thank you
thank you so
again.
much. Yep.
Yes.
Aloha. Warmest aloha.
I just love Rabina's energy, and you probably picked up that we have one of her pieces in our living room. It's such a great reminder of the special memories that my wife and our girls created in Hawaii. Such a great place to visit. It's everything you expect it to be. And so looking up at her art reminds me of those times. And I'm so glad she decided to join us here. And as a meditation teacher, I totally dig her question. Are you breathing deeply? That is a big question. Often we don't do that. We don't even pay attention to our breath. And the second part of her question, if you could create a bumper sticker, what would you put on it? So let me know what you would put on your bumper sticker. And I hope you'll check out the next episode of Whole Again. And of course, continue listening in to this series, A Perfectly Imperfect Union, which airs every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. But until then, let's remember to celebrate our scars as golden symbols of our strength and resilience. And don't forget to have fun. Storm in the castle. And if you wish to learn more about creating beautiful ripples and how to prevent a bad moment from turning into a bad day, please visit my website, michaelobrienshift.com, and sign up for my newsletter called The Ripple Effect. And join us each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday here at Whole Again and discover how you can heal, grow, and become more resilient. And celebrate our scars as golden symbols of strength and resilience. Until then, remember, you can always come back to your breath. You've got this, and